If you've been following what's been going on in the Bitcoin space for the last couple of years, chances are that you've come across the term shitcoins. But what exactly is a shitcoin? And what properties do shitcoins have that make them eligible for such a condescending epithet? Let us find out. A shitcoin is a form of currency that is more or less designed to enrich its creators. One can subdivide shitcoins into two main categories: cryptocurrencies and kleptocurrencies. Cryptocurrencies, also known as altcoins or cryptos. These are pyramid schemes and scams leeching off of the success of Bitcoin. Their creators fool ignorant noobs into giving them their Bitcoins. They do this by claiming that blockchain technology has more than one use case. Some of the early descriptions of Bitcoin revolved around arbitrary properties. Payments per second and merchant adoption aren't that important for a new type of money. Cryptocurrency creators use the misconceptions to push their own narrative. There's no real point to using a blockchain at all except in Bitcoin. A blockchain is nothing but a slow database designed to do one thing: to ensure that Bitcoins cannot be double spent. As the one-shot principle tells us, absolute mathematical scarcity achieved by consensus in a sufficiently decentralized distributed network was a discovery rather than an invention. It cannot be achieved again by a network made up of participants aware of this discovery, since the very thing discovered was resistance to replicability itself. The idea that there will always be a plethora of coins with different use cases is wrong. It's based on a misunderstanding of what money is. Money is the most saleable good in a society. It is a winner-takes-all game. You can trade money for every other good and service there is. There's not even a need for a plural form of the word. As in all emerging markets, a lot of opportunists start businesses when they see a new asset arise. Bitcoin exchanges and wallet providers soon realized something. Selling Bitcoins for other currencies wasn't a very profitable business model, especially not since accumulating more Bitcoins was the obvious right path forward. The quickest way of doing this turned out to be selling clones and copies of Bitcoin to the ignorant masses. Because of this, many of them morphed into shitcoin casinos. Cryptocurrencies come in many shapes and forms. Some are supposedly designed to increase privacy. Some supposedly make transactions cheap and fast. Some are even trying to be platforms themselves, supposedly allowing for decentralized apps. When you think a little harder about these things, though, none of them make sense. None of them are truly decentralized. They can't be. Everything, quote, blockchain, invented after the discovery of Bitcoin was done so by people already aware of Bitcoin. Insider information is available to all shitcoin creators. The coins are pre-mined and they're all centrally controlled by a small group of people. None of them can guarantee a fixed supply issuance schedule like Bitcoin can. They are all a bigger fool's game, and they contribute nothing to the betterment of mankind. Kleptocurrencies. We all use kleptocurrencies, or fiat money, which is the more common term. No issuer of money has ever been able to resist the temptation of enriching themselves. Inflation stems from one place and one place only: the central bank. Gold has remained a first-layer type of money for over 5,000 years because of its natural properties. Gold is scarce and not very common in nature. It is also quite easy to verify the authenticity of gold. When banking was first invented, the bankers soon realized something: that they could hand out more receipts for gold than they actually held in their vaults. The probability of every customer withdrawing all their gold at once was very low. This is how the first monetary bill came to be. It enriched the banker at the expense of everyone else. The practice is called fractional reserve banking, and it's still in use today. In fact, it is much worse nowadays. Since 1971, the world's current reserve currency, the US dollar, has not been redeemable for gold at all. We're supposed to accept its value by decree. All fiat currencies are issued by a central authority. They constitute a mechanism for funneling wealth from the masses and into the hands of the elite. It is this mechanism that Bitcoin provides a way out of. If you don't find the idea of being a cog in someone else's machine very attractive, you now have a way out. Big governments in cahoots with big corporations rule the world. And they get more powerful every second. If you wish to opt out, there now exists a tool for doing so: Bitcoin. There's a verifiable, absolute, finite supply of Bitcoins. The network is open to anyone and everyone. It's private if you avoid certain on and off ramps, and no one can stop you from using it. You are living through the beginning of the biggest shift in power mankind has ever seen: the rise of the sovereign individual, the end of monetary slavery, the great emancipation of humanity. Everything there is and everything that ever will be, divided by 21 million. Nothing less. Refuse to embrace it at your own risk. Refuse to be used. Know the difference between what's real and what is not. Avoid shitcoins at all costs. Bitcoin fixes everything.